just ahead on CTV News.
The County Council marked the last day of its legislative session. I'm Katira Jones. I'll have everything you need to know coming up on CTV News.
Plus,
a nearly 30-year ban comes to an end after the County Council votes to pass the Animal Control Modernization Act. I'll have details on that coming up.
and a local school placed on lockdown after a gun is found on campus. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for November 18th. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Thanks so much for joining us.
Today marked the last day of the 2025 legislative session for the Prince George's County Council.
And the council faced challenges like balancing the budget, cuts to the federal government workforce, and the 43-day shutdown, all while focusing on their priorities.
CTV's Katira Jones is standing by with more.
It has been a jam-packed 2025 legislative session for the Prince George's County Council. The council dealt with everything from new leadership of the body to the loss of grocery stores, a county budget in the red, and most recently, the federal government shutdown. Let's take a look back on what has been an unprecedented legislative session.
I'm proud of really where the council is.
That is County Council Chair Edward Burrows reflecting on this past legislative session. Burrows was elevated to chair of the County Council back in March, bringing in new, young, and progressive leadership to the council.
As you've seen over the last several months, the council's pulled together in such a special way. We've transitioned in an amazing county executive who worked through some of the most challenging issues, including this enormous budget deficit that we have inherited.
When you have 11 individuals fighting and legislating for their issues and their initiatives, there are going to be times emotions run high, differences are real, but at the end of the day, we realize we're here to do what the public needs us to do.
The County Council faced a $170 million budget shortfall that put Prince George's County in the red, and most recently were tasked at providing food and financial aid to many of the federal government employees that lost their jobs to DOGE cuts or were furloughed during the 43-day federal government shutdown.
Prince George's County has been hit so significantly by the President of the United States. We had over 70,000 federal workers and contractors. So many of them have been impacted by the DOGE cuts. So many of them impacted by the furloughs, and they're still living with those consequences. And so just working with the legislative branch through all of those challenges at the same time has been an honor.
Prince George's also had the popular grocery store chain known as Shoppers leave 3 locations here in the county. With food deserts being a serious issue in Prince George's, Council Vice Chair Crystal Oriatha proposed a resolution that would create a study around establishing a county-operated grocery store. That resolution passed the council today.
Everything needs to be on the table because we have to think about how we get the resources in our community because we know we need it. Communities like Sea Pleasant, where I live and that I represent in District 7, a grocery store left and then it has not come back. And so we have to think about moving in a different direction. And I think this study is part of that conversation.
Oriatha also proposed a bill that would establish an incentive program for national board certified educators to teach at low performing schools in the county. That bill also passed.
So this looks at creating a fund. Obviously, we know that we need to look at all sources to fund it, which is why we're talking about looking at outside resources, asking the school system in their reserves to fund it. But the reality is all we can do to ensure that we have more teachers coming into the county, the better.
At-large member Calvin Hawkins proposed a bill that would create a year-round employment program for low-income youth and young adults in the county. That bill also passed.
That's an amazing opportunity to give some of our underserved young people with challenges to have a chance, one, to work all year round, which will help keep them out of trouble, but also will help them with their economic situation.
It has been a legislative session for the record books, and now we take it to CTV's Michaela Newton, who has everything you need to know about the changes to the county's pit bull ban.
The Animal Control Modernization Act, also known as CB 97, was passed today, repealing the pit bull ban in the county. The nearly 30-year ban comes to an end after county council members say they've had a change of heart and have been meeting with people from the local animal shelter and advocates who say the ban has not worked.
I just think that we need to humanize this situation and look at how this law has been in place for 30 years, but times have changed. That's 3 decades. And we can do more as a county to hold people that have dangerous dogs accountable. And that's what we're talking about.
The county council meeting was filled with people in purple shirts in support of the bill and says it would make the community safer and more fair.
These dogs are not just animals, they're part of people's family and their lives. And so to have this victory is a very special and emotional time.
According to the Department of the Environment, the ban has been ineffective with 33% of dogs in the county falling under the pit bull category. There are currently 20 to 30,000 pit bulls in the county. The bill will now safely end the breed-specific ban. It creates a pilot program that allows adoptions and fostering through Animal Services and Adoption Center, requires special permit and an annual $25 fee for owners. It fines people $300 for failing to obtain a pit bull permit and improves clarity and consistency in the code.
What it means for me now is I can continue to make trips to the DMV area to rescue dogs, but also dogs can be rescued and fostered out of Prince George County that are specifically pit bulls.
Now, moving forward, I spoke with Councilmember Hawkins, who told me that it will be a process moving forward for people that actually want to adopt those pit bulls from the local animal shelter. So he said that it will take some time. For now, reporting in front of the Wayne K. Curry Administration Building, I'm Michaela Newton for CTV News.
Thanks, Michaela. And prior to the passing of this bill, the county was the last remaining large jurisdiction in the U.S. with a pit bull ban.
A renewed push to cut local police ties with ICE is gaining powerful new support in Annapolis, and the sponsor says this year will be different. Delegate Nicole Williams says she'll reintroduce legislation to ban the so-called 287G agreements, deals that allow local law enforcement to help carry out federal immigration enforcement. The proposal stalled last session, but this year Senate President Bill Ferguson says it's time to prohibit the partnerships, calling ICE's recent actions lawless and harmful to public trust. CASA reports 119 Marylanders have been transferred from local jails to ICE so far this year.
We now have 8 jurisdictions in the state of Maryland that have these agreements in place. And so there is more of a need for this legislation, more so now than ever, just because, one, we have seen that these agreements do not enhance local law enforcement's ability to capture hardened criminals within our communities. In Prince George's County, Maryland, we do not have 287G agreements, and we have been able to effectively fight crime, to capture the worst of the worst of people who commit heinous acts within our community without having these agreements in place.
Lawmakers will take up the issue again when the General Assembly returns on January 14th.
And Councilmember Wanika Fisher announced a new domestic violence work group today. The 24-member group is made up of police, fire, EMS, social services, schools, and local nonprofits. The work group will study the causes of domestic violence and identify gaps in support and develop strategies to protect victims.
Here in Prince George's County, we really haven't set up a strategic plan on domestic violence. We've only really had a very reactionary footprint when it comes to DV victims and their families. But there hasn't been a strategy when it comes to housing, when it comes to resources, when it comes to wraparound services, when it comes to even a curation of all the nonprofits that are doing work in the domestic violence space, and to see which things are having value and not. So I'm very, very excited.
And Councilmember Fisher says domestic violence numbers have risen over 30% in Prince George's County, and the new work group will bring awareness to the issue even outside of Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October.
And some startling news out of Springdale this morning. Charles Herbert Flowers High School was placed on lockdown after a gun was located on campus. Prince George's County Police have taken a student into custody, and no injuries have been reported at this time. As of now, there are no immediate threats to students or the community. This is an active investigation. We will keep you updated as this story develops. A brutal crash in Suitland on Friday has left one person dead. This happened around 9 a.m. in the area of Silver Hill and St. Barnabas Roads. According to the investigation, the deceased driver, identified as 44-year-old Daniel Bradley, was traveling eastbound when he struck a car in the westbound lanes. Bradley died on the scene, and the second driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police are now working to determine the cause of the crash.
And advocates across 13 states and Washington, D.C. are sounding the alarm about a plan they say could sharply raise energy bills for millions of residents. In a new letter, 60 organizations warn that PJM, the grid operator for the region, is weighing recommendations that could add about $70 a month to household power bills to support data center expansion. They argue PJM has already driven costs up by slowing clean energy projects, pushing capacity prices up more than 900%, while doubling executive salaries. Advocates want data center developers to pay their fair share of the $163 billion in grid upgrades. And Americans are heading into the new year more worried about paying for health care than any time in recent memory. A new West Health Gallup survey shows nearly half of U.S. adults, 47%, are anxious they won't be able to afford care in 2026. That's the highest level since the groups began tracking the issue 4 years ago. Concerns about prescription drug costs are also climbing, and about 1 in 3 Americans say they delayed or skipped medical care this year because they couldn't afford it. The survey comes as Affordable Care Act subsidies are set to expire December 31st.
You're watching CTV News. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Still to come, we have new updates on the rebuild of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and it's looking like the process may cost more than we thought.
Stay tuned to find out how much more when we come back.
The drug scene in Maryland is changing. Fentanyl and xylazine are being added to street drugs, and you may not even know it. Xylazine is not even intended for humans, and fentanyl is an opioid 50 times stronger than heroin and contributed to over 80% of overdose deaths in our state. Anyone who uses drugs, even occasionally, is at risk of overdose. To learn more, visit stopoverdose.maryland.gov or call or text 988.
You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day it feels like you're gonna break. You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day that feels like you're gonna break. So lean on the ones that love you, the guardian angels above you, and think about when peace just another color. Ooh, just another color. Just another color.
Welcome back. The Francis Scott Key Bridge is now expected to cost more money and will most likely open at a later date. Maryland Transportation Authority officials say the bridge will cost between $4.3 and $5.2 billion and is now expected to open in late 2030. Originally, the bridge was expected to cost just under $2 billion and was slated to open in 2028. Officials say the preliminary estimates of the bridge took place back in March of 2024. But since then, material costs and the scope of the project have increased drastically. Governor Westmore is continuing to push ahead with his redistricting effort despite bipartisan opposition. In order for the governor to be able to redraw the state's 8 districts, he'll need to garner support in the Senate. The governor will need to get at least 24 votes in the 47-member Senate to move ahead with the redistricting ahead of the 2026 elections. But Democratic Senate President Bill Ferguson has vocally opposed the measure. Plus, the Republican caucus is not on board with mid-cycle redistricting.
And Maryland First Lady Dawn Moore was recently inducted into the University of Maryland Alumni Hall of Fame. The honor comes after decades of experience and commitment to public service. A 1997 graduate, the First Lady shared how her years at the university ignited her passion for serving her community. First Lady Moore becomes the 69th distinguished alumni to receive the honor. And other notable members also include U.S. Congressman Steny Hoyer and Olympic gold medal gymnast Dominique Dawes. And speaking of First Ladies, Michelle Obama recently spoke up about how America is not ready for a woman president. During a conversation in New York with actress Tracee Ellis Ross, asked Obama whether there had been enough room created for a woman president. She said, quote, "As we saw in this past election, we ain't ready." Obama also mentioned that is why she isn't running herself, noting that, quote, "There's still a lot of men who do not feel like they are ready to be led by a woman."
Bowie State University is the latest school to receive a major donation from philanthropist Mackenzie Scott. Bowie State University received a $50 million unrestricted gift, which is the largest single contribution in the university's history. Scott also awarded Morgan State University $63 million and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore $38 million. In just the last 5 years, Scott has donated $236 million to Maryland's HBCUs. Bowie State officials are forever grateful for the donation.
What Mackenzie Scott is doing for HBCUs and nonprofits who are trying to fulfill the American promise, it is deeply, deeply humbling. I'm so grateful. So the word gratitude just played over and over in my mind. This is a reinvestment by Ms. Scott. This is the second gift and the largest gift that we've ever received. And the fact that it comes here as we are closing out over the next few weeks, our 160th year of existence is like the cherry on top.
And some of the money will be used to help the students' research efforts.
And in Maryland, the Governor's Office for Children is launching a powerful new effort to support students and families in high poverty areas. The Community Schools Delivery Program brings state agencies directly into schools, helping with everything from housing support and SNAP enrollment to healthcare, mental health, counseling, and job training for parents. 8 agencies, including Health, Human Services, Labor, Housing, and Education, are all working together to ensure every Maryland child can thrive.
Just 1 month after Montgomery County Public Schools Superintendent Thomas Taylor said the system is running out of money, a new report has found that MCPS spent over $1 million without the Board of Education's approval. The Office of Inspector General says MCPS violated state law by spending some of the money they have left. The report follows the recent cancellation of MCPS's $168 million electric bus contract. And still to come on CTV News, Anaya, can you believe that Thanksgiving is next week?
No, I can't, but I am ready.
Well, if you're cooking or not, or you want to stay home, or you want to travel,
we have some tips for you and some tricks to help you navigate through the holiday. You don't want to miss this.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
If words were enough, I would help you bear your burden. I would watch each child of yours grow strong and true. Teach them to read and to write and to sing, so that their voices be forgotten nevermore. If words were enough, I would sate your hunger, and you would know you are my sister, my brother, my child. If words were enough.
It's so hard to predict a sick kid who just keep getting sicker, but we needed to be together as a family. My family is my entire life. My family means the world to me.
When we're together and we have support from Ronald McDonald House, we can be a little stronger. They provide food and a place to rest your head, and they will help you through every step. That's what gets you through every day when you don't know how else you're gonna make it.
It makes you feel like you're not alone.
Prince George's County's award-winning Parks and Recreation Department has a new leader. Darius A. Stanton is now in charge. CTV had the opportunity to speak with him one-on-one about his priorities. He says their department is committed to making sure kids and adults with disabilities are not left out.
With our adults, we have a program that focuses on adults with disabilities during the summer and throughout the year. In previous years, we've taken them on field trips such as Disney cruises. This past October, we took a group of disabled adults to Memphis, Tennessee, in Nashville, so that we were able to support, their growth and development in ways that are pretty uncommon in terms of, health and human service programs. In addition to that, at a number of events, we also have sign interpreters come and present when we do public programming, because we want to make sure that we are very focused on making sure that people who are hearing impaired are able to participate and fully enjoy the experience of whatever program it is that we're providing.
To see more of his interview, feel free to check out our YouTube page, PGCTV online.
And a major boost could be coming to Metro, one that leaders say would reshape how the entire region moves. The Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments and the Metro Board have jointly endorsed a sweeping plan to modernize the transit system, backed by $460 million in new yearly funding starting in 2028. Metro says the investment would help overhaul aging rail infrastructure, speed up bus service along key corridors, and standardize fares. The next step is securing legislation from D.C., Maryland, and Virginia lawmakers. If approved, officials say the upgrades would shape transportation across the region for decades.
According to a Wells Fargo food report, the cost of your Thanksgiving meal has fallen 2 to 3% this year. However, turkey prices are 5% higher than last year. To help combat price increases along with financial hardships, major retailers like Amazon and Walmart are rolling out budget-friendly Thanksgiving bundles this holiday season. Prices range from under $20 to about $100, depending if you're feeding a family of 4 or a group of 10.
And if you're not in the mood to cook and would rather go out to eat for Thanksgiving, then a couple of restaurants in the county will be open for you. The Tips restaurant at Laurel Park will be open and ready to provide you with some horse racing action. And at the National Harbor, Fogo de Chao will be featuring their dinner menu from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. McCormick's and Smith's Seafood will offer dine-in and to-go options as well. And on the other hand, if you plan on traveling this Thanksgiving, make sure you plan ahead. AAA says that a record 82 million Americans are projected to hit the roads, skies, or rails this Thanksgiving, which is the single busiest holiday for travelers. Nearly 90% of Thanksgiving travelers will do it by car. The number could end up even higher if some air travelers decides to drive instead of fly following recent flight cancellations and uncertainty. According to AAA, the best time to hit the highways is in the morning. And don't go away just yet. It's now time for our Tuesday sports page.
That's right. What do we have today, Simon?
Stay right there for your Tuesday sports page, guys, as head football coach Mike Locksley spoke earlier today on the support he has from athletic director James Smith. Hear what he had to say after the break.
Danny. See me after class. Okay, so, Jennifer? Yes? Okay, let me know what you're
Danny, I just got this notice from your school. We need to talk. This is important. We need to talk.
Danny, wake up!
Oh, Danny! Labs.
Danny! She's overdosing.
When no one else knows what to do, it's gotta be you. Carry naloxone. You could save a life.
Okay, everybody, we begin your Tuesday sports page with some Terps football news. As I reported yesterday, Terps athletic director James Smith voiced his support of head football coach Mike Locksley as he announced that he will return for the 2026 season. And along with Locksley returning next season, Smith also vowed to put more resources into the football program. Locksley spoke earlier today and touched on how much it meant to him to have the support of not only Smith, but also Senior Deputy Athletic Director Diana Sabao.
I spent 17 seasons on this campus. Not very many people know the ins and outs of this campus like I have. And to have two people now that share the same special vision that I have, while also seeing the foundation of what we have when we didn't have all the resources that we needed, I'm excited. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. So really glad about the support, opportunity to stay here, committed to an area that I believed in because I'm from here.
Switching gears to some news from the hardwood, congratulations to Lady Terps guard Addie Mack on earning Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors. This comes after the two games the team played against Towson and Princeton last week, where Mack totaled 30 points, 10 assists, and 5 steals. This is the Minnesota native's first career conference honor, and if she keeps playing like this, I'm sure there'll be many more to come. And on the flip side, some sad news was announced recently by the team, as freshman guard Leah Bartlemay has suffered a torn ACL and will miss the remainder of the season. Bartlemay was in the midst of her first season of playing American basketball, coming over from Slovenia, and started 4 games for the team before suffering her knee injury against Towson. Definitely wishing you a speedy recovery, Leah. Maryland will take the court next against Bethune-Cookman on Thursday. And wrapping up your Tuesday sports page, the Washington Capitals took down the LA Kings last night 2-1. The Caps will take the ice next versus the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And that is your Tuesday sports page. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, Simon. Now let's take a look at our 3-day weather forecast.
Tonight, expect rain and patchy fog with a low of 40. The fog will continue into tomorrow, and we reach a high of 53.
Thursday, we'll be full of cloudy skies, and we'll hit a high of 54. And Friday, it's looking like rain with a high of 62.
And for our community calendar, the Maryland Health Connection will be hosting their second virtual enrollment event, providing you with free one-on-one help to apply for 2026 healthcare coverage.
This session takes place tomorrow, November 19th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. To sign up, visit marylandhealthconnection.gov.
And do you have a story to tell? You can reach out to us to our CTV News tip line.
You can give us a call at 301-386-4085, or you can send us an email to ctvnews@pgctv.org. And as always, we look forward to hearing directly from you.
And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thank you so much for joining us.
We're going to see you again tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.